it is sad that they're not out here in solidarity with the students necessarily as much as they are protecting the face of the bank. It's just a bummer. But
do you feel like they are doing what they can to get a Doyle Bank?
Oh yeah, totally. Exchange Bank is like doing what they can, but it's not a matter of what Exchange Bank is doing. We're looking out for the long-term stability of the Doyle.
Cuando no esté soplando el aire,
Or at least I think we need to. I guess the GA will determine it.
You're
Doing everything we can.
entrusted with managing a resource that involves them. So I'm just suggesting that it might not result in any different management decisions, but that the students and those who are interested in their futures should feel that they are part of that discussion.
we're going to have a speaker right now. I don't know, how many of you read the article that came out in the Bohemian on Wednesday about the Doyle Scholarship? Okay, just a few people, so a lot of people are going to learn some cool things right now. So we have Jay here who wrote the article, and he's going to talk to us about the history of the Doyle.
Hello everybody.
Hello.
Hey. I'm Jay Scherf. I'm a student at the Santa Rosa Junior College. First of all, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Great, cool. Like I said, I'm a student at the Santa Rosa Junior College, and I'm among the first classes of SRJC students who did not receive the Doyle. Now, I'm here just for the same reasons everyone else is, and that is to hasten the reinstatement of the Doyle and to watch out for the long-term stability of the Doyle. Now, in the past couple months, myself and some people around me have been starting to question what was going on with the Doyle in light of the whole Occupy movement. And so I started doing research about the Doyle, and I found some things that really put the Doyle into a whole new light. First, the Doyle is not exchange banks. Second, the Doyle Trust Fund trustees may not have our best interests in mind, and we may be able to take the issue to court. Third, the Doyle Trust Fund is not accountable to the Santa Rosa Junior College, and the Santa Rosa Junior College administration is playing a very passive and uninformed role in regards to the Doyle, and this attitude is not going to get the Doyle back anytime soon if the SRJC continues to act this way. So first I'd like to talk about the structure of the Doyle. Now, Frank Doyle was a very philanthropic individual. He was the second president of Exchange Bank, and he secured funding for the construction of the Golden Gate Bridge, and he also secured funding for some of the most beautiful buildings at the Santa Rosa Junior College. Throughout his life, he was accumulating Exchange Bank stock, and on his death, he had just over 50% a controlling interest in Exchange Bank stock, which he put in a perpetual trust, the Doyle Trust Fund. The Doyle Trust Fund does a few things. $2,000 go to maintain Doyle Park, which Doyle created in memory of his son, and the rest of the money goes to fund the Doyle Scholarship at the SRJC. Doyle's will also allows trustees to vote themselves directors of Exchange Bank. However, the Doyle Trust Fund and Exchange Bank are separate legal entities that Exchange Bank will confirm. The Doyle Scholarship is not a gift from Exchange Bank. It is a gift from Doyle to the community. So, now I want to talk about the suspension of the Doyle. Most of you already know this, but after 118 years of dealing mostly locally, Exchange Bank got a new president and decided to make some risky investments in the Central Valley. When the housing bubble burst, Exchange Bank suffered huge losses. Most of us have already heard this. What the Press Democrat hasn't been reporting is that Doyle's will mandates that the trustees of the Doyle Trust be managing Exchange Bank in a conservative way to make sure that stuff like this doesn't happen and to make sure that the scholarship is stable. So, I consulted some legal opinion from outside of the area to assure independency, and I found that, talking to Dimitri Alexander Kaplan, who is a trust attorney from Philadelphia, he considered that what's going on with the trust could well be considered a breach of fiduciary duty. So we do have legal standing to take this to court. as everybody knows, the dividend was suspended, and Exchange Bank has been sitting on the capital it's been making to get back on their feet. This is coming off the backs of the students because the dividend really should be going to the students.
I provided him the information. I provided him in an email interview that he did with me. He asked me if we were getting a fee, and I told him no.
And I looked at the tax information, and there's clearly an $87,000 500 fee for the
In
trustees
07.
and 08.
It's probably the balance of the people who retired, but none of us. The question you asked me, are any of our trustees right now getting a fee? No.
I never said that you were getting a fee from the fund. I said you're getting the same fees as all the rest of the directors of Exchange Bank, and the way that they get onto the board of Exchange Bank is through Doyle's will, who allows them to vote themselves onto the board of directors, which is what you said per your interview. I don't understand what you find misleading about the information I put out.
Well, when you look at the article, it sits there, it says $800,000 compensation and, legal fees, but compensation for leads. It's misleading.
I think
I'm sorry you feel
we're
that way.
focusing on something that is only a secondary issue here. And
Okay.
I mean, his research covered a lot more than just what fee you might or might not be receiving. What I'd like to see is a process where the students are brought into the decision-making process and where Exchange Bank shows the transparency of what they're doing and their intentions, and then these kinds of back and forth don't have to occur, and perhaps a compromise or a plan for the future that is understandable to all can be achieved.
I'm also the president of the Exchange Bank, and I'm here to tell you that if you love the JC, if you love what the Doyle has done, as we do, that we stand with you. We want this Doyle scholarship to come back as soon as is possible, but I will not take shortcuts in that effort to distribute dividends prematurely. I'm here today to offer you every opportunity to ask me any question that you want about the bank. I do not speak for the trust, but I know what a difference it's made. And as far as what Jay said about the prudent investment rule, there's no question that anybody in business and finance understands prudent investment. It is prudent to be diversified. But the man who started this scholarship perhaps thought differently than Wall Street. He thought differently than maybe the prudent investment rule. He was all in. Everything he had was the Exchange Bank. And his will clearly indicated that what he wanted most of all was this bank to remain independent, and the best way that he felt that this bank could remain independent was that the entire stock be held, not sold.
The bank is totally transparent because it's a bank. You can look us up.
I don't think this
I had
young
to do
man
quite
found
a lot of
that.
research to get
on
the
the
information I
exchange-
found.
Maybe on the trust, I don't think you'd found any problem with having access to me.
The FDIC
Did you
has-
ever call me, Jay?
I called Exchange Bank numerous times.
Did you
Actually
call me?
went down to the local Exchange Bank branch, and none of them could tell me who Jim Ryan was, who Dante Benedetti was. I couldn't get in contact with any of the former trustees. It was very.
to answer
Okay,
your
it wasn't
but again, I'm
accountable
talking
to
about the bank.
The-
I'm
the
talking
bank-
about the organization that
The bank
funds
is
the
totally
dividend that ends up in
transparent
the
because we have to be.
scholarship.
I
And we
contacted
have to
Kathy
bring it
Sutton
back.
multiple times, and she referred me to Bruce DeCrona, who I quoted in the article.
And in your article, you again infer a recklessness in investments in Central Valley, as you did here today.
It's quoted in the Press Democrat.
You're quoting a secondhand. Why don't you talk to Kevin McCollum, who wrote that article, and ask him what he feels about the
But
bank
see, you
right
gotta
now?
understand
It really
the
concerns
trust.
me as a student from the JC
The
that
trust,
you both seem more concerned with problem
established by
solving and
Doyle,
saving face than
total different
the
entity.
than
No,
the well-being of the student.
No, that's not the case.
You're exerting more effort.
We have control of this.
We say fight back. We say fight back. We say fight back. We say fight back.
Bring back the Doyle Scholarship!
We say fight back! They say cut back! We say fight back! They say cut back!
We say fight back.
They say cut back!
We say fight back.
We say fight back! They say cut back!
We say fight back.
We say cut back!
We say fight back!
They say cut back!
We say fight back!
Now!